kindergarten, I went to the pumpkin patch for a school field trip. From that very moment on, all I ever wanted to be was a farmer. In first grade, I wanted to be an artist or a geologist, mainly because I love to draw, and I also liked rocks, which I still do to this day. In third grade, I wanted to design planes. In sixth, I wanted to go to Yale. And in seventh, I wanted to be an automotive designer. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a farmer. Year after year, my response to this question of what I wanted to be when I grew up would always change, never staying the same, only up into the next year, where I would completely change my decision, which was usually based on my hobbies or interests at the time. Yet, until a couple years back, when my grandma asked for around the 50th time who and what I wanted to be when I grew up, I finally came up with a definite answer to this question that I've been asked about my whole entire life. And my answer was, I don't know. I don't know who I want to be. I don't know what college I want to go to. I don't know what I want to major in. And I wish I did, because it feels as if every single one of my friends knows what they want out of life, and I'm the only one who doesn't. And college is coming up in 2 years, and that's really close because we're basically halfway through high school. So I find it that when I use this phrase, I don't know, I sometimes feel incompetent or useless, even embarrassed. But why is that? And I think the real question is it so wrong not to know? Admitting ignorance can sometimes feel risky. And I think it starts in childhood when we're expected to know the answers. I don't know usually serves poorly on spelling tests and math quizzes. And as we grow older, when the stakes are higher, or as we grow up, admitting ignorance can sometimes be dangerous because we feel exposed, as if others will try and exploit our vulnerability. But in reality, few people rely on cruelty in their daily affairs, and few people lend themselves to exploitation. So all throughout our lives, we use this phrase, I don't know, and throughout history. And today, we have made it into a business. In 2015, the US federal budget was an estimated $3.8 trillion. And of that $3.8 trillion, $1.1 trillion was put into discretionary spending. And of that $1.1 trillion, 2.6% of that trillion was then put into science, more specifically NASA, and research institutes such as the NSF and NIH. 6.28% went to our education. This included grants for low-income students and for research facilities. 3% of the funds went into energy and environment. And of that, $2.5 billion went to the U.S. Global Change Research Program, whose main goal, as stated on their website, was to understand, assess, predict, and respond to climate change. Now, on this pie chart, the percentages look and sound very small, but in reality, they all add up together to $102.2 billion, and more than 80% of that was spent on research alone. Research that was meant to understand and further develop our knowledge of things. And imagine how much we've spent in the past 50 years. And thinking about it, as humans who have spent over 200,000 years on this planet, we don't really know much. Sure, we know how to make cars, and we figure out how to fly across the sky, and we know how to breathe underwater, and tie our shoes, and do all this stuff. But in general, this is just general knowledge. And yet still, there are still corporations and research facilities all around the world trying to figure out how and why these things work, and centering on all these topics that we don't know. And once again, there are many things that we still don't know. We don't know why the universe exists. We have our theories, But we're still waiting on a definite answer that will provide us with a testable hypothesis, one that doesn't include mathematical formulas or really large numbers. We don't know what dark matter or dark energy is. 96% of the universe is made of this stuff, and stuff that astronomers can't see, detect, or even comprehend. All the stars, planets, and galaxies that we see today just make up 4% of the universe. We also don't know whether life exists elsewhere. We haven't figured out the quantum world. We don't understand our own biology, which is not a radical thing to say because if we did, we'd presumably be able to eliminate all disease or find the cure to cancer. We'd also be able to customize ourselves, which we aren't any closer to doing, besides coming up with these things called engineering crops, which are basically just bits and pieces. So, in conclusion, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Way more than what I just named. Sometimes what we don't know, we just can't comprehend. And I think it's funny that what we do know, we still put trillions and trillions of dollars into finding more about. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. These corporations are trying to find out and trying to learn more about these topics. And this ignorance is ultimately what drives us to continue to develop in fields such as science and math and history. So life is unknown, and you should embrace it. So back on this question, what do I want to be when I grow up? I still don't know. But the thing is, I don't know, but I'll find out.